Hello everyone, welcome back to my Jaybird. Now, I'm in white, and this is the Knight's Queen Jaybird's wings, and the yellow set of 2700. Okay, and this would be game 2 of the Knight's Queen with Jaybird's wings. And let's get down to it so I can explain more too about it, and a difference between a human and a computer a little bit too. Okay, let's get started. B3, E5, B2, D6, G3, C6, G2, D5, D3, F6, E3, H5, D2, H4. After H4, H4 takes, and H4 takes. Now this game goes a little bit different here. There's a little bit taken differently on this one side here. So obviously, I don't want to be castling this way, I don't think. We'll see. After H4, I still continue on my opening. E2, G4. Now he comes down to threaten. Let's see what I do. Go F3. Okay, after F3, he goes E6 back. I guess probably white, I'm going to take it. I'd run my knight out. He'd help me develop, and then he'd have to move his rook. That's probably the best scenario on that one. After E6, I castle the other way. Now, I could have said this was rook knight castle. How would I say that? Because the knight's on top of the rook. But we didn't call it that because I might have had one of the other blitz games where I did call it this. Okay, let's continue on. After castle, A5, A3. See, and this is where this comes in good, like I say. This is handy. Because watch, when he pushes, I'm going to get passive. The knight's blocking this pawn here. After A3, A4, I pass B4. H6, G2, D6, and he looks like this is a well-known opening here. After D6, C4, I push up, and look, the rook is lined up with the queen here. Let's go on here. After C4, G6, queenie over F1, F8, F3, C4 takes, C4 takes, E7, unpins from that rook. After E7, C5, I push. He trapped his bishop. After C5, take C5, take C5. Now, he did open me up here a little bit, but we'll get to the point where a human would have done something different here in a certain situation coming up position. After C5 takes, A2, C3. I have to move up because he's going to throw a check. Where am I going to go if he throws a check? Then I'll be throwing, oh, I can't do that. Knight, he takes and pin me again. I lose my queen. Now, got to move the bishop up there. After C3, C5 takes, B2, I move to a safer position, unpin, E6 he goes, H3. Now remember, he sacrificed the whole piece over here. So after H3, G4. I take G4. I want to open this up. There's no doubt you got to open this up, push this pawn up through. After G4, G4 takes, H3, G6, D3. I need help over here with the, that's why I moved the queen over. I got to get some more pieces over here to help out. And you take notice, he's only got 3 pieces that's not helping him do anything against this king. I got what, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Okay, so after D3, G2. Defend F1, B6, check. I move A1. Okay, everything's safe. C5, he moves back. b2, I defend that pawn. d8, and now I'm tucked away real nice back here. After d8, he goes, no, I go b1. I'm keeping my everything defended here, and unpinned here. Don't want to lose the queen. That's where you got to watch. You can get blunders here. This one came a little more trickier to me because the way it went down, and even though I got a piece up, but still my mount in the open with the king. After b1, f6. Where'd he go? f6. Okay, that's all right. But I want to show something here in a minute. After f6, h4 I go. I want to push this piece up. He moves over there, a5. To me, the queen should have stayed right there. To me, his queen should have stayed there, and he should have just pushed this pawn. A human would have pushed this pawn straight down. I understand this ain't a blitz game, but still, to open this up the most as you can, and then you got your rook to come back over here and put all the pressure on over here. But he didn't do that. a5, I go e4, d6, h5, b5. But you see what I do, putting the pressure on by pushing my pawn. He should have pushed his pawn. After b5, I go back b1, a5, h6, threaten, takes h6, I take h6, and look at this queen's on this lane here too. After h6, c4, he threatens. I go check first. There's all kinds of things going down because if he moves over here, then I just move my queen here and say check, and it looks like checkmate. or he can block it. No, well, he can't because it's not, the king would be there. Okay, after h8, he brings his rook back. Best move. Take g8, g8 takes g8, c1, c5. Now he pushes his pawn, but I think he should have pushed his pawn a few moves ago when I was pushing mine. After c5, c3, f7, e4, d8, d2, b6, h1, c6, h6 check, e7, b1, and everything's covered here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces here. He's got 1, 2, 3 at the most. Well, he's got that bishop sliding, but it's not doing him any good. After b1, and I'm taking his word for it, so I'm not doing anything more than I have to over here. After b1, g8, f3, g1 check, rookie down, c1, g6. I go h2, d5. Everything's defended yet. There's no, well, it looks like he can threaten this here, right here. But let's see what happens. After d5, I move rookie up. I can walk out of here in different ways. Let's see what happens here. c3. He goes b3. c2. See, now I think a human would have came down and said check. No matter if he would have backed out, and what matter, just keep him tossed around. After c2, takes d2, takes d2, a8, f2, b3 check, b1, back e6, e4, g8, f4, threaten g2, move up e3, still everything's defended, d8, defend c1, takes f4, takes f4, d6, I don't trade, e3. I'm trying to keep my pieces, and even though I'm up a full piece here, but he's up in pawns, so after e3, h2, F3, G3, D3, F2. Now he's threatening some checks over here. Let's see what happens after that. Nope. D2. You're going to have to give up a queen for a knight here. I don't think so. D2, E2, C2, B5, A1, C4, F3, A5, E3, E5 check, B2. Now I guess we're forced to, let's see what happens here. B5, I take it, E5, E5 takes. Okay, 3 pieces to 2 pieces, but he's up in pawns. After E5, F3, G4, E5 takes, D6, G4 takes. Okay, at this point, I'm glad to trade it down. G4 takes, B1, G1, E2. Hold the lane. We're going to walk the king up here. After E2, E5, C2, G4, B2 check, E6, C3, G3, D4, B3, and now we're going to lock him in. Watch this. B3, C2, D6, E5, C6, C3, and now he's closed in. Well, he can get out, but after C3, D7, D5, D8, D6, B4, H2, going for a checkmate first. Don't worry about it, you can get a checkmate. After H2, C8, C6, still can get a checkmate. D8, now I take B6, E8, after E8, F2, B4 takes, he surrenders right here, I guess. He just gives in, wants to resign. After B4 takes, E7, B5, A3, B6, A2, A2 takes, E6, B7, F5, F2, E4, B8, C3, B4 check, E3, F4 check, D3, D5, C2, and D2, and after D2 there, that's game right there. And there you have it. Now, I think we're going to try the EL up higher. I don't know when we're going to get to it. And we have some more coming up. Some other ones here. The Knight in the Pyramids declined. And then we'll be going back to blindfold blitzes. Thanks for stopping by.